videos this time of day because of the shadow of your phone. But temperature slipped down slightly below 90. Breeze has picked up. It's a dry breeze. It's humid in my apartment because I'm using a swamp cooler ×2. Adds humidity. I think the humidity's up around 50%. Maybe higher. I don't know. At any rate, I stayed inside all day. What's on my mind? You know what's on my mind. The new year. It's coming right up. Today is New Year's Eve in the Mayan calendar, 13-moon calendar, the 24th of July. Tomorrow is the celebrated day out of time. I wish the temps were lower. When my health was a little better, I'd kind of like to go for a meaningful bike ride, like maybe crawl my bones all the way up to Forest Park. That's something that I like to do on a day out of time. Of course, if one could actually afford to rent a car, I would go down to the beach. But I ain't giving those cocksuckers $105. Well, to rent a day of is probably $200. But to book in advance by 2 weeks or more, $105. To Avis. I don't fucking think so. You know, what made it so much more expensive, like to quadruple the price? What exactly? Tell me. You know, it's collusion. It's price fix. It's same as the price of gas. It's Joe's America. We much discourage any kind of automobile usage. Why can't people just learn to drive responsibly? You know, you don't need to own a car until you absolutely need to use one. There's all kinds of means and methods by which one can obtain and use an auto for a day, not just renting a car. There's all these little companies that keep popping up all over the place. But I digress. So, 25th, day out of time. Be nice to do something celebratory, but my hands are tied with poverty. Got to keep my mind off my book and how depressed I am about that. I'm not even going to mention that. So then the next day, the 26th, is the new year of the self-existing moon. And there's a glyph, a touchstone, a few words that summarize what that symbolizes. I mean, it's going to be interesting to get into a new lunar calendar. I tried to order one online today, but they're sold out. The 13 Moon folks, who are located in Ashland, of course. I almost moved there a few years back. I didn't. I finished writing Being Our Own Gods instead. I finished the first draft. There's a lot of work to be done on that book because of the size and scope of it. 24 independent, separate, and unequal in length, certainly, and unequal in style of writing. Some are lots of narration, some are little narration and simply dialogue and telling stories scenically. Basically speaking, if it's a short snippet story, like 1,300 words, 2,000 words, it's narration. And if it's a longer story, there's several stories that are over 5,000, 6,000 words. There's one that's over 8,000 words. Lots of dialogue, told scenically. Those, of course, are my favorites, but it's really hard to write every single story that way. And if you tried it, you'd know. You'd probably just default to narration. And so what was I saying? So I didn't move to Ashland because I finished writing a book instead. And as it turned out, that was a smart move because Ashland was then henceforth inundated in forest fire smoke, mostly from the giant national forest that's nearby to the south west, and I forget the name of it. Sorry, my apologies. So I didn't move to Ashland, I stayed here. And then Portland became what it became, and a lot of friendships and relationships dried up, a lot of activities dried up, like open mic poetry. Social identity politics took over. Trust me, older white heterosexual males do not fit anywhere into identity politics. But I digress. It's the new year, self-existing moon on the 26th, which is Tuesday, and I would like to do something celebratory for that as well as the day out of time, both. And I just don't know what that's going to be. So anyone have any suggestions? An old man with spindly legs like a crow, hunched over a bicycle, a thin wallet with his thinning hair, mounting the hills that youth once whispered sweetly and softly in his ears. Now they bite at his back with anger. This is the sun. This is the new year. Sirius will rise in the east. For those of you who follow this calendar, who follow the star seed philosophies, we are setting, we are rising, we are rising, we are setting, we are setting as we are rising, we are arising as we are setting. And I think the older you get, the less things turn out the way you planned. And less adaptable one may be to how things actually turn out. But I feel grateful in this moment. And I will ride again, I will rise again, I will set again, I will rise again, I will set again. The soul has no enemies. The soul has no gender. The soul has no identity politics. The soul has no sexual orientation. The soul knows all, sees all, has been here many times before, and has also abided, and not symbolically, but literally, on other worlds